Checking the fidelity of the stream. Seems okay for now. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Oh, I should turn on the light outside so people know I'm live. Oh, okay. Frame rate's doing well. That's good to see. I don't know if some of these Attack on Titan songs are gonna get muted. They might. They may. I don't know. Good chance. I have stuff to say whenever Jan gets here. Oh, I need to charge my shit.
Don't you think about me enough? I've been burning my heart out. Got to face, need to
You here yet?
tell you I will run.
Any more alkaline?
'Cause I'm ready set.
More. There's no need asking about the Six Flags. Yo, did I see that the camera just fucking autofocus? That ain't okay. Turn that shit off right now.
You will know
If I want to focus, I'll do it myself. Alright.
must be right, but I stay by your side. Even if my body's needs to
I just need to make sure I have everything lined up.
I don't want go through that ever again. So cry no more. Oh my beloved, go ahead be proud and finally learn you are the one.
Yo, Jan!
A rising star.
Oh wait, am I dropping frames again? Hold up.
You got a spark to hold.
Enough. Drop that a little. Can I switch servers? Nope. Even though it's a me problem, I'm sure. It's still going way up. Way higher than I want it to go. Yeah. Hang on. I've got stories. So, should I start with the hospital? So, it was that... I think I streamed that day where I had diarrhea all day. Frames dropping. We're gonna ignore that. About shitting yourself? Yeah, kinda. Or opposite. 3 whole days of not shitting. Yeah, it was that day I streamed, and I said I had diarrhea all day, I'm gonna be late. So I streamed for a few hours. Like, you know, I think I said at some point, you know, my stomach's starting to hurt. I'm a close stream. And, later that day, around nighttime, I started watching, I want to go through my backlog of movies. So I start watching, The Green Mile, Tom Hanks. I made it 20 minutes in, and I'm like, dude, my stomach hurts too bad. I can't even focus. So I decided to go to sleep. I couldn't. I was tossing and turning. My stomach hurt really bad. And, you know, it felt like gas. Like, it felt like a little bit of gas needed to, like, move along in my stomach. And just wasn't going anywhere. Like, ooh, I don't know. And so... I think I got a little bit of sleep, but I woke up to more stomach pain. So did I start popping pills there? I think so. I think yeah, I woke my mother up and I'm like, hey, my stomach hurts. Got any medicine for me? And so she showed me some Pepto-Bismol. I took fucking 3 of that. Took some Tums. 4 of that. Took some Motrin, because I hurt. Actually, I think the bottle is still, like, I think it's behind me. You can see it's the medication and all over there. And there's more down there, too. Nothing worked even a little bit. And so I'm just like, I need to go somewhere. So we went to urgent care, not the hospital yet. We went urgent care. You know, we sat around waiting. And, my mother gave me a heating pad. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we dropped some frames there. Christ, what's wrong? What's wrong with my internet? My mother gave me a heating pad before then, so, like, while I was waiting to leave for urgent care, I'm like, hey, that heating pad kind of helped. And so we left, and I started getting in more pain. I'm like, yeah, no, the pain's coming back. Get there, wait, whatever. And then we make it inside. And, you know, get my vitals. Nothing out of the ordinary, I suppose. Nothing worth mentioning, at least. Doctor comes in. She's like, hello, I'm Doctor whatever. I'm like, yo. And she asked me my information, like, what's your birthday, when you start having issues. She gets a phone call on her Apple Watch. Hello? Guy on the other end is like, yeah, I need to talk to you about the issues with the staff, and they're giving the wrong appointments. They're putting down the wrong stuff for the appointments. Say, okay, I'll get right with you on that. Oh, bitrate's dropping again. Hang on. Jesus Christ, how's it getting worse? That I'll be right back with you on that. I've got a patient with me. He's like, oh, okay, bye-bye. Boop, boop. And so she checks me, you know, feels my stomach. She's like, okay, I don't feel any gallstones. You know, didn't hear anything out of the ordinary. Uh, ruled out any like fissures, pancreatitis, I suppose. And so she basically is like, if you're still in pain, and like she couldn't rule anything out because that was my only symptom. I wasn't nauseous. I wasn't having any more diarrhea. I wasn't pissing blood. Um, you know, my stomach hurt. Very boring symptom. Very boring singular symptom. She's like, okay, so I don't have a lot to go on. So if you still hurt, you know, I suggest getting a scan. I'm like, okay, well, that's gonna be a lot of money, and I'm most likely not gonna pay it. So I go home, use the heating pad again, get some sleep, fucking roast my stomach, like max setting. So I'll also make it through the rest of the day and part of the night. Woke up to a little more pain, and at this point the heating pad ain't helping anymore. And I'm like max setting. My stomach is red, like I'm just burning myself, just trying to at this point just hurt from the burning so I can ignore the burning, like the pain inside my stomach. It fucking hurts, and I'm like, I gotta do something about this. So I got up and I'm like looking for more medicine, and there's actually an X-Lax that we're giving to my brother's old cat. Like they'll sprinkle a little bit of that. It's like stool softener. It's not like a laxative. So I grabbed that. I grabbed the cat's medicine basically. Fucking pour it in a cup, drink it. This was like 4 in the morning. And I'll go ahead spoil you. It didn't do shit. It didn't do anything. Through the entire rest of the day. Hello, Pally. I follow if you can burp. How's that? I've been having sour burps all day. Do I qualify? I'm doing well. I'm talking about my hospital experience. So I am weak as hell, to be honest. Dude, I am so back from the hospital for stomach stuff, mind you. So y'all forgive me. Not even a day ago. Let me try again. How's that? Tough crowd. You can't burp loud though? I can't belch, no. It's very, very weak, almost like a whimper. Anyway, 4 a.m., I'm in pain. X-Lax didn't do shit. And so I basically the rest of the night, I'm just kind of wandering around, intermittently trying to get back to sleep, but can't. So I wake my mom again. I'm like, hey, I need some stronger stuff. I don't care what it is. Give something to me. And so she's like, okay, you're gonna have to give me a minute. And so I'm just sitting in the kitchen in pain, doubled over on the ground. You know, on my knees, head on the ground. You know, just immense physical fucking pain. Trying to make sure the songs aren't too fucking over the top. I need like a softer playlist. Sure. I'll be back. Good time. Good timing. Okay. Pain. So she gives me, she comes back upstairs. She's like, all right, I got these things. So gave me an anti-inflammatory. So strong that there's only 4 in a box. And then like some painkillers. Both in a different language. So she was looking up like a translator for this mysterious medication. Of which I know not the source of. I don't care. I'll take anything. What is this? I said, so, if it was intermittent, I'd say it was like a 4. If it went away, but it never went away. Like hours on end, it would just be the same, just never going away. So I give it a 6. Nothing relieved it. No position I laid in. Nothing I did. Walking around, sitting down, keeled over on the ground. Fetal position. Nope, nothing. I think I said 7 at some point. I'm just fucking awful. So I took both these medications, and after a few hours, you know, I'm back in the kitchen, sitting on the ground. Mother comes back. She's like, "Help at all?" Like, no. So she's like, "Yeah, I think we should go to the hospital." We go to the hospital. She said, "All right." So I stopped because we have a shit ton of animals. Say, "All right, I'll drop you off." Because like I'll be waiting around. Like we assume I'm gonna be waiting around like last time. Last time I waited like an hour and a half before I got my vitals done, even, and I had to wait some more. So she drops me off, and I stand in line. It's not a very long line to sign in. Probably I'm waiting behind like 4 people. I'm standing there, and I get dizzy. Let people wait with you now? Yeah, why not? They didn't seem to have any issue with it. Yeah, no. But, no, my mother dropped me off so I can sign in. Actually, something about that. Late in the story, when I was talking to the nurse, she brought up, like, yeah, we've had a lot fewer COVID cases. Like, it's almost, like, not even an issue anymore. I'm like, oh, wow, that's good. So, not even a problem. Yeah, I'm staying in line, and I'm getting dizzy. I'm getting very dizzy, and I don't know why I'm getting dizzy. Whether it's the drugs, whether it's the pain being so bad, whether it's the knowledge that this is going to financially ruin me, or just irreversibly damage my credit score. Not that I plan on staying in the United States anyway. Another spike? Uh-oh. Anyway. And so I'm like, part of me is like, I don't want to make a scene in front of all these people. You know, don't do anything weird. Just stand in line. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking pass out. And so I sit on the ground in the middle of the hospital. I'm squatting on the ground, holding my stomach. You know, stand up, squat again, stand up, squat again. Just as the dizziness comes and goes, and I've got the chills. Very, very much no oxygen going to my head. It's the kind of dizziness and passing out you'd get if you like locked your knees while you're standing, you know. We got a lot of this in ROTC. And so I send my mom a text. I'm like, I'm dizzy. I think I'm gonna pass out. She's like, oh my gosh, tell someone. And me being a good boy, I'm like, I'm gonna wait in line. I don't want to cut. So I just try to focus on not passing out. I was like, all right, just make it to the desk. Make it to the desk. Make it to the desk. I'm like, and she's like, what are you here for? Like, I need scans on my stomach. And I feel dizzy. Like I might pass out. And she's like, alright. And she said something about needing scans, like an appointment or something. I'm like, uh-oh. Well, I came from urgent care. And she's looking through the system. She's like, I don't see anything coming up on you being in urgent care. I'm like, oh, I came from this location. She's like, oh. And so she's like, okay, take a seat. They'll call you up in a minute. So I'm thinking, did I go to bad urgent care? Is there a stigma? I take a seat, and actually they gave me like a fucking phone number to sign in. It's like, go paperless. I thought that was fucking weird. And so I call the number. I'm like, hello? And it said survey. I'm like, okay. I start doing the survey. But then they called me in like a minute later. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So I'm trying to finish the survey up. I'm like, all right, phone number. And it's just like birthday. What's your... I assume it's like registration stuff, but on phone. But it's fucking stupid. Because I hung up on her. Because they walked me into the vital area, get my vitals, you know, hook me up to the machine, check my pulse, whatever. And once I sat down, I started feeling better. I wasn't as dizzy. So I walked over and sat down. I'm still on the phone I'm like, oh, my birthday. And the lady next to me is asking the same questions. And on the phone, she's like, you know, you can call me back later. I'm like, I'll do that. Boop. And so she get my vitals. I'm like, yeah, you know, my stomach hurts. Was feeling dizzy earlier when I was standing in line. Actually feeling dizzy right now. And she's finished up the vitals. And, like, I feel it again. I'm, like, ready to pass the fuck out. And so I feel like it's washing over me. And she's like, you think you can make it? I'm like, yeah. And I'm getting ready to stand up. And I'm thinking... I'm like, how far am I have to walk? She's like, are you sure? I'm like, no. She's like, that's what I thought. And laughed. That's pretty funny. So they brought over a wheelchair, and that kind of made me feel like shit. I'm like, oh man, a wheelchair? That we wheel me around? So I felt kind of bad. You know, I knew damn well I was gonna fall on my fucking face. And it's just kind of like this, you know, you don't want to feel diseased or sickly. So they wheeled me over to get my blood drawn and my urine sample. And so, you know, guy in a room, he asked me questions too. Which arm? I don't care. Okay. So he you know, sticks a needle in me, and last time I got my blood drawn, I did get lightheaded. Well, it doesn't really make me queasy, but I think on top of everything stacked onto each other, like I said in the beginning, I didn't take it very well, and so I felt dizzy again. He didn't seem to take notice. I'm just like, just trying not to fucking pass out. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pass out with my blood getting drawn. I'm not gonna be that guy. So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna wheel you to the bathroom. You know, you're gonna pull that string, you know, when you're ready to be picked up. I'm like, okay, all right. And so he wheels me in the bathroom. You know, I don't lock the door in case I pass the fuck out. I almost wanted to lock the door. I'm like, no, let's be real. So I stand up, I get a good look at me in the mirror, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. No wonder I'm in a wheelchair. I looked so pale and so flushed. Hang on. I don't know if I can get the white balance. Yeah, just fucking pale. I look real bad. I'm like, wow. If you didn't know any better, you'd think I was getting chemo. Like, Jesus Christ. I looked awful. I pissed in a cup, and I pulled the string, you know. Comes back, no further incidents. And he asked if anyone's coming to see me. I'm like, yeah, my mother should be here in about 15 minutes. He's like, okay. So he parked me to the side. Mother texts me she's on her way. Gets there, made me happy. And she said, don't scare me like that. I can tell I look like shit. I'm like, am I still pale? I'm like, she's like, yeah. Because like when she sent me the text to tell someone, she sent 2 more texts saying, call me, and then she tried to call me a few times. I did send her a text when I was getting my vitals though. End up sending her a text like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna get my vitals. Snorbo's sitting there. Guy eventually wheels me into the waiting room with everyone else. So they just got my vitals first because I guess I was real dizzy. And my mom's like, yeah, that might have been the painkillers I gave you. I'm like, well, a part of the plan, huh? We got the vitals already. Got a good laugh about that. Talked to my brother quite a bit as well over the phone. Because he didn't know what was going on. My mother just sent him a text. She's like, yeah, I'm at the ER with Alan. I'm like, well, don't just say that. And so I just specified, like, yeah, for stomach issues. Waiting for a scan. Is he okay? I don't know. So, eventually, they wheeled me into a small medical room. It's got a bed and like little pulse thing if it's required, I suppose. Tiny room. Let's see. So waiting there with mother. Did we talk about anything? I don't think so. We're just waiting around, Nurse comes in. Yeah, a guy comes in, one of the doctors. He's like, alright, so what are you here for? Stomach pain! Yo! Which at this point, I stopped feeling because of the drugs. It started kicking in that late into the day. But I knew that I would still be in pain later. Like, I could tell it hadn't moved anywhere. Like, I still felt the bloat. So I just told him, like, yeah, I hurt right here. Which, by the way, is to the left of my belly button, specifically. It's not my whole stomach. It is a very isolated spot. But it wasn't a sharp pain. It was a very dull pain. Like, I thought I was going to die because I thought that I was going to rupture something, is what it felt like. I thought something was going to rupture. I just didn't know if it was my stomach or if it was like a pancreas. It was just that general area. Or gallbladder. Whatever. Which was why we decided to get the scan. Because we just didn't know. Hard to tell. And so I told him about, the urgent care thing. I'm like, yeah, Dr. Urgent Care felt my tummy. Said if it still hurt to get a scan, so I'm here now. And she felt my tummy and she said it wasn't a gallstone. He gave me a weird look. He's like, without a scan? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, better doctor than I am. So 2 strikes on that urgent care stigma. I'm like, so what do you think of urgent care on this location right here? He's like, oh no, I move around. I'm not in the same spot, so I don't know the location. I'm like, oh, okay. Somebody else. And so he finishes up with the checkup, wrote the stuff down. Mother told him what drugs I took. It's like, okay. Nurse comes in. Another one. Lady comes in. No, yeah, I mean, I took her word for it. I'm like, all right, word? She felt my tummy, listened to it with the stethoscope. I'm like, okay. I didn't question it. So yeah, the lady walks in. You know, I tell her about my symptoms again. I'm like, stomach hurts here. And then I got on a tangent. I'm like, so let me ask you this: urgent care, this location. What's your opinion? She gave a look like I'm gonna just keep my opinions to myself. I'm like, ooh, we picked a bad spot. Very shitty urgent care, apparently. At least the hospital doesn't like them. Because they don't file their shit, among other things, maybe. I don't go to urgent care very often. Not shit enough for you, apparently. Yeah, I need shit out of me. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know what the problem was. And so, she said, okay, I'm gonna get this IV in you, and then, I'm gonna go get the drugs. And she's like, normally I get the drugs first, but then I always miss the IV, so I just wait to get the drugs. Because, just one of them things. I'm like, yeah, one of them things. So she puts the IV in, tapes it on. And at this point, I feel like shit. Like, I wanted to cry. Because I think it's just seeing the IV in my hand just kind of took the feeling all the way home of just feeling diseased. I've always said it and joked about it, kind of getting sick all the time and going to urgent care. My brother hasn't been a doctor at all, I don't think. And I'm just constantly running into problems. So yeah, I want to cry. I don't think my brother picked up on it. I'm just looking at the IV. I'm like, yep, here I am. And the nurse said, yeah, so I'm gonna get a few drugs for you. Some morphine. And me and my mother shared some eye contact, and we're like, morphine? She's like, it's a small dose. Like, it's barely anything, but it'll help take the edge off. Look back at my mother, it's like, okay. And so she leaves. And we talk to my brother some more. And we tell him, it's like, yeah, morphine. He's like, morphine? And don't get addicted. I'm like, well, I may have to scavenge the streets of Atlanta. I don't know. Maybe one of the things. Gotta get more. So she comes back with the morphine. And by the way, this entire time I'm fucking shaking. I can't help it. I was shaking the entire time when I was getting the scan. Oh, what's the scan they do for pregnant people? Ultrasound. They're doing ultrasound. Yeah, that's the one. It's so funny. I Google it and find it and come back to the stream chat, and I see you already answered the question. So it's like, wow, I wasted my time. Yeah, when they were doing ultrasound for my torsion, I was shaking the entire time. The nerve. I think that's the only time really the nerves get to me. Where like I'm not just shaking, like my teeth are fucking chattering. And it's just awful mentally. So yeah, just kind of everything weighing on top of me as far as like hospital and hospital bills, just kind of being there and present, and just not being able to do anything about it. USA. And then all these drugs that are introducing that I have never had interaction with, where things could go wrong. I'm just scared. I'm just a scared little child. And I've got this fucking IV in me, reminding me that I'm sick. Let's see. So she comes back with the morphine, hooks me up, and it did take the edge off. I stopped shaking. I wasn't out, but you know, I could tell I was definitely a little more inebriated. You know, I was talking to my mom about politics, just straight up. And I was like, so yeah, I stopped watching Crowder, because, you know, I told you I used to watch Crowder unironically. I told my mother, I'm like, yeah, I stopped watching Crowder. And I just explained, like, how he misuses statistics and blah, 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 blah. As far as the morphine, I can see why people would be addicted to it if they had, like, chronic pain. Because while the pain in my stomach was coming back, the morphine just took it all away. But I don't have any chronic pain. I don't have chronic back pain. So, like, the addictive qualities that morphine has just doesn't really have an effect on me. Because, like, what is there to remove the pain from? You know? Do I want to not feel like I need to go to the bathroom? No. Gotta take this shit, but I don't want to feel it. Take this morphine. No, if I had, like, back pain, I'd be like, yo, give me some more fucking morphine, please. But, no. So, we kosher. Mother leaves because she still had to, like, feed the animals. Or do some other stuff. Well, I guess feed the animals because we were there for hours. You know, she asked, like, how long it was going to be. It was like, probably another hour. It wasn't another hour. It was, like, 20 minutes. So they ended up wheeling me away for the CT scan. And so the guy wheels me over, new guy, sits me into the scan room where there's several other, like, rooms with CT scans. I think they have 4 set up. But they have me, like, in the hallway. And there's a lady in the desk, like, 15, 20 feet in front of me. And you might be thinking, gee, that's kind of a long ways away. It is. And, like, she yells across the room. She's like, what's your name? I'm like, Alan Akers. Like, birthday? And it's like, you know, you could have wheeled me a little closer. Feeling of CT scan's unique. It's the contrast they pump into you. Which, I guess you can decline the contrast, but, like, it helps them, you know, with reading the scans. So I'm just like, yeah, sure, I don't care. Pump me with more stuff, you know. She had me sign some, the way she described it was, it's gonna feel like you're peeing, but you're not peeing, you're just gonna feel warm. Like, okay. It didn't really feel like I was peeing, but I did feel the warm sensation she was talking about. Yeah, she gave me a paper. She's like, all right, this is going to be the consent form right here. And then right here is going to be if something goes wrong, give us permission to something. I still have the... I still have the IV in my hand. And so I'm just cringing. Just holding the pin with my fucking IV hand. Like, oh god, it's gonna fucking slip out. I can feel it. I didn't know how IV worked. I thought the needle was still in there. I didn't know, like, they stick it in, they, like, pull the needle out, and there's, like, a... I guess a rubber tube. A small rubber tube that's still in your hand. That'll come and play later. So... I'm gonna have to change servers or something. I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting such shitty connection. Or lower it some more. I don't know. Should I lower it to 3,000? No, I'm not gonna worry about it. So, CT scan. They wheel me out. Which, when the guy wheeled me back out, you know, he, like, parked me in the middle of the hallway. he parked me in the middle of the hallway, like, down the hall from the CT scan. Oh, he's like, all right, you have a good day. And he walked away. I'm like... And there's, like, nobody here to pick me up. I'm like, I'm just here alone. So I'm just waiting. Old lady gets wheeled by in a bed, getting a CT scan. She waves at me. I'm like, hey. That was pretty funny. I think the guy eventually came back. He's like, all right, ready to go? And he's like, oh. Where's your mask? I did have a mask on earlier that day, but when I got really dizzy, I just fucking ripped it off and stuffed it in my pocket. And I eventually put it in my mom's bag, and she went home. So I'm like, I don't have any more. Sorry. I was like, oh, I thought you had a mask when we came down here. I'm like, well, fucking forgive me. He had an extra. I put it on. I'm like, all right. Put me back in the room. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And this is probably the most anxious I was the entire day, even through the morphine. Like, I was just kind of like, ideas swimming through my head. Like, what could it be? You know, am I gonna have to stay in the hospital? Is it surgery? Am I gonna go through surgery? I don't fucking know. And so the doctors get outside my door, and the door's cracked. And I hear something, a little bit of gas in there. I'm like, oh god fucking damn it, dude. I wouldn't be as upset by the fact that it was just constipation and gas if it wasn't for the fact that the X-Lax I took earlier that day didn't do shit. If it did something, I'd be good. It didn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, it's not constipation. No, it was. I just needed stronger stuff. Really, I needed something that wasn't stool softener. Or I guess I needed both. Because they prescribed me stool softener, laxatives, and some anti-nausea medication. Which, by the way, the anti-nausea medication they gave me is actually the same stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this. I'm sure it's fine, because it's legal medication. It's actually the same stuff that people use for chemotherapy, which I thought was pretty interesting, and maybe a little overkill. But here we are. And so they gave that shit to me. It's like, alright, so I'm supposed to take the laxative in the morning and at night. And I'm like, fuck, I'm taking it right now. Got home immediately, fucking... Oh, no, actually, we didn't go immediately. We had to get the prescription. So we went to Walmart because the nurse... Oh, let me back up some more. And so the doctor gave me the diagnosis. He's like, alright, so it's some blockage, some constipation, gas, yada da da. Here's your prescription. Have a nice day. That was it. Nurse comes back. She's like, alright, ready to go. And so she gets the IV, and she's like ripping the bandages off. I'm like, Jesus Christ, holy shit, because I think there's a needle in there. And she rips it like sideways. And if I were to illustrate, let's see, do I have? Let me illustrate. And so she ripped off the IV, and if this was the top of my hand, right? And the IV was like right here, right? The rubber tube, I was looking at it, was going like that. And like the IV is right here. So it's still connected to my hand. But as she's ripping it out, you know, I just see it kind of sneaking out of my hand. I'm like, wow, that's fucking disgusting. So I get released, wait for Ma. She comes back. I give her a thumbs up. And I'm like, it's constipation. Which is almost a little more insulting because earlier that day, when we were waiting after I got my vitals done, and my mother had come back, and we were waiting again, you know, I was joking with her. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get all these scans done. And be like, oh, it's gas. Turns out it was. Not really. It was constipation. It actually is a major thing because it's toxic. Toxins. It can become impacted, you know. Not good. So we go to Walmart because the nurse actually recommended some other laxatives for me to try. Because she said she didn't like the X-Lax that was prescribed. So I'm like, I'll try it all. Fuck it. Go to Walmart, and she wrote down some stuff. So I'm looking through the laxative section. Mother walked away. And a lady walked over. She's like, you look for laxatives? I'm like, yeah. I just came back from the hospital. I need like something for constipation. Like, oh, my mother uses this one. I like this one because I have a herniated rectum. I'm like, oh, really? I was like, oh, okay. Sure thing. I did get it, and it does work very well. I used it earlier today. It's fucking... I'll talk about that later. So I get some laxatives. We leave, go to Publix to get my prescription. Had to wait. I fall asleep because I guess of morphine. And we leave, go home. I immediately put the shit together. You know, take the softener, the laxative, and like, all right, word. And I fall asleep because I'm still high on morphine. And I think that's when I posted, I'll try not to shit myself. I'm gonna go to sleep, yeah. Here. That's when I posted this whole thing. Back from the hospital, got a CT scan. Gonna take a fat nap now since I'm still high on morphine, I guess. Here's hoping I don't shit myself sleeping. Justin Timberlake's on Twitch. Yeah, you didn't hear? How you doing? Dank Savage King. When I had a shaved beard, I had someone call me Slim Shady, so I dyed my hair blonde to take the joke the extra mile. Look fresh, thanks. Talk about my hospital story. Constipation. Got a scan of everything. It was constipation. I got my prescription, got home, took a nap, hoping I don't shit myself after taking a bunch of laxatives. Ended up waking up, and I'm like, oh, I think this is it. Is that just yours behind? Yes, it is. I had an incentive to wear it, but I've got family coming over, so I'm gonna put it back on after a few days. Actually, that exercise stream should be missing. Like, they're literally coming over, like, an hour from now. So I just did a quick story time, and I'm gonna close stream. Yeah, I wake up, I'm like, uh-oh, this is it. Is it finally it? Which, mind you, since that diarrhea 2 days ago, I hadn't shit at all. Wasn't even close. Like, normally you could kind of feel it. There's nothing. You know? So, I'm like, oh, something happened in here. And I will tell you right now, it smelled awful. It was like a sludge. Dark green. And it was nasty. I felt better immediately. Like, that's it! That's the vile shit. And basically it. I take the laxative some more, but, after the sludge, it was fine. And I still have, like, 2 more of the cups over here, but I don't need it. I'm just gonna put it with the rest in case I need it later. I don't know. Because I got blocked up again. A counter story? What, did you have diarrhea? You had to take a, what? I'll continue until you, have it all typed out. That's the end of that saga. Oh, here we go. End up hospital. Okay, yeah. Go on. Holy shit! Well, your appendix is gonna be a little lower, right? I thought your appendix was, like, next to your rectum. Holy fucking shit. That's something I gotta keep in mind. Yeah. Goddamn. Wow. Oh, okay. Okay. Huh. On the right or below? Okay, yeah. It stayed on the left the entire time. So I did say, part of me wonders why they kind of got my vitals early. It could have been because I was dizzy, but I think I said that I felt it move over to the right a little bit. Maybe they thought, oh, we better check the vitals. I don't know. Maybe if that was the case, they'd want to get the scan immediately. I don't know. I don't know how they deal with emergency situations like that. Oh, so, all organs you need are on the right. Oh, God. Unless it's a heart attack, yeah. Wow. I'll keep that in mind. We actually went to the store so I could get some stuff, some food, some good fiber stuff. And my dumbass decided to get this. Fucking pistachios. I'm never getting that shit again. Alright. Because I ate a shit ton of those because I can't fucking help myself. Because I'm a glutton. Glutton for pain. End up having really sour burps earlier today because I guess they're acidic. I think it's mostly past now. So I decided to try the laxative that the lady suggested because of her herniated rectum or whatever. It's a suppository and it's in a package of 4. So I'm thinking, you know, I want to shit now because because of the pistachios, you know, I feel bloated again, and I'm like, nah, man, I ain't dealing with this shit. So I grabbed what I assume was the strongest stuff. You know, I grabbed my phone, grabbed the suppository, you know, walk in the bathroom, stuff it in, and I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, how long does it normally take for suppositories to take effect? Because, you know, you don't want to shit it out before anything happens. And it says 10 to 15 minutes. I'm like, okay. So, imagine. You're on a train. You're in a tunnel. You're in a tunnel. You're in a train. And it's a normal train. Like, maybe like a Harry Potter train. You know, just like a choo-choo sort of freight train, right? You know, it's chugging along, you know, maybe 30 miles per hour. Now, imagine behind that train, there's a bullet train going 130 miles per hour, and there's no stopping it. It is on its way, rear ends that fucking regular train, and your hands and legs are against the wall, and you are bracing for impact. This was 5 minutes. Maybe not even. It was probably 3 minutes after the suppository. I'm like, I can't fucking hold this shit anymore. It worked very well, I gotta say. Here, I need to type it in chat. There. That's what it felt like. That's fun. It worked so well. It wasn't even 3 minutes. Man, I still had like very sour burps, but I was less gas. So I ate some almonds and I ate some grapes because they're alkaline. I don't know why I air quoted. Now, hold on. And I took some Pepto-Bismol and some antacids, and here we are right now. So now I'm waiting on my mother. She's gonna go pick up the family. Oh, so Jan, Six Flags, 16th. Hope you remembered, because that is a thing that's happening for sure. And I think we're about the equal distance away from Six Flags, so I'll just tell you when we're leaving, or when we're about to leave. And I was a little nervous about my cousins because they're coming over, and I feel like it can't be true. What, Six Flags is a few days? It's on 16th. It's right there. Right there, corner. Not Christmas corner. We're same distance. I could look it up. I'll do that right now. Actually, I'm gonna tell you exactly the distance of Six Flags I am. I'm gonna look up directions and tell you how far it is. Okay, so it says I'm 51 minutes away from Six Flags. 51 minutes? I mean, you can do what you want. If you want to drive over here, you can. But let me warn you. Well, actually, if you do want to drive over here, you can spend the night here. Because I think the family is going to be leaving after the Six Flags. So there'll be beds available. Just know that you're going to be driving full 2 hours. There'll be a lot of back and forth driving. It's like 2 hours to the house, 1 hour to Six Flags, 1 hour back, 2 hours back. If that doesn't bother you, then yeah, you can swing over here. I know. So my cousins have a dog, and there was an incident where they were visiting my aunt, and she said, no dogs, but they smuggled the dog in anyway. We have a lot of animals. So if we're saying no dog, that means no. Ever. There's gonna be problems. We're gonna tell you to go home. My mother said that they're not going to. That their dog is currently being, dog sat by some other guy. So, apparently cool there. But there is a chance that one of my other cousins, who also has a dog, may bring it. I doubt it. I don't think he's the kind of guy who will just kind of completely disregard, boundaries, right? Two hours further for Six Flags? 2 hours further? Is that on top of the 2 hours to get here? It can't be right. Six Flags, let me check again. For some reason, I thought Six Flags was south of me. Rip. Okay, it's probably safe for you to swing by the house then. For sure. That doesn't make that. It's not a problem. Really. Yeah, another way my cousins are kind of make me nervous is we have dogs. We have German Shepherds. We have a handful. They don't get around people very often, so they're not out about. They stay downstairs. They're very separated. But my cousins, last time they were here, they insisted that they pet the dogs. So my mom was like, okay, fine. I'm going to bring them one at a time upstairs. Just don't reach for them. Don't jump at them. Don't, be careful when you're petting them. And won't you know, they're fucking, making me, mom, very nervous. It's not the fact that they might get bit. It's the fact that they might get bit and something's going to happen to the dogs. I don't think they get that. I don't think they get that our hesitation isn't for their sake. Like, if they get bit, fine, you know. But like there's a good chance it's gonna go back on the dogs, and they're going to, you know, something's gonna happen to them. So I think when they get here, I'm gonna be like, all right, if you get bit, it was a wild dog. You're gonna take the fall, get a rabies shot. All right, we cool? Something like that. Also, my aunt insists on sleeping downstairs with my mother, where the dogs are. Mom's like, hell no, but she insists. So, yeah, my mother's freaking out. She's like, all right, so she has a plan. She's like, all right, you're gonna wear my clothes so that you'll at least smell like me. And like, I can't even, like, they're fine with me, but like, if my mother's laying in bed and I'm like in the room, they get real growly. Because, you know, that's like home base. Also because I think that's where my stepfather yells at my mother the most. So they're very, very, very anxious there. Thanks, stepfather. You've been a great help. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Everything I wanted to cover. Stream's still lagging. I might change the the server. See if that helps at all. Remotely. Please, for the love of God. Stream till Monday. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Here's another side story. So in high school, you know, we're talking to one of our friends, you know, group of friends. One of them's like, you know, telling us a story about how he was sitting in the lunchroom table, alone in the morning. You know, sitting there, you know, just waiting for the bell, whatever, just not really doing anything. He said he felt an uncomfortable breeze. You know, he thought it was weird. Looked down, his dick was hanging out. Just hanging out of the fly. He's like, oh shit. You know, stuffed it back in there. He said he wears like baggy clothes so nobody noticed. I always think about that from time to time. Okay, I think that's it. I need to go to the bathroom again. Haha. So I'll see you, Jan. Good night, and Xena. Good night, LA Kaylee. Good night, Lana Ray. I guess my burp wasn't powerful enough. Oh, fuck yourself too. See you later.